Hello, and welcome back to Piecemeal, where we learn how music is put together by taking it apart. Today, we're going to continue analysis of Bartok's second Bagatelle for piano. I figured it was worth trying to take an analysis to completion just to see how it would be received. If you haven't checked out the first episode, which covers measures 1 through 10, I have it linked in the description below. Today, we've got measure 11 to the end, so let's see what there is to see. First, here's the phrase in its entirety. The section can be broken down into two phrases, 11 to 18 and 19 to the end. Measure 11 starts with the quarter note C add 6, then brings back the repeating eighth note pattern from the beginning of the piece. Measure 12 introduces a slight variation on measure 11, with chromatic passing tones leading to a C, and continues to repeat the A. The right hand brings back a chord progression seen earlier in the work, an E-flat minor to C major. The E-flat minor emphasizes the ornamented downbeats in the left hand. Measure 13 presents a kind of subtractive rhythm. The right hand repeats the figure from measure 12, but repeats the staccato A's only twice. This figure is played 4 times across bars 13 and 14. The left hand across these two bars presents 2 layers. The first is a descending chromatic line on each beat. These notes are thickened by chords. First, a D diminished in first inversion, then a C sharp minor in first inversion. The second layer is made of the chords on the repeating eighth notes. First, the C add 6 we've already heard before, then a D minor. The whole progression looks and sounds like this. In measure 14, Bartok repeats the second beat of measure 13 twice. Taken all together, the entire section sounds like this. The next 2 measures are a little peculiar. The idea is simple enough: downward descending arpeggios for 6 eighth notes, then a rising fourth towards a quarter note. What's odd about it is, the pattern doesn't really repeat in any discernible way. The right hand kicks off with a descending C-sharp augmented, resolving to an F-sharp. But the next iteration in the right hand is an arpeggiation of a B-flat major 7 add sharp 11, resolving to an E-flat. The full right hand progression sounds like this. The left hand starts the motive offset 2 beats after the right hand. The first iteration of the motive is a familiar chord, an A major 7 add sharp 11 resolving to a D. The second iteration of the motive, however, is an E7 add sharp 11. It doesn't have the rising fourth at the end. Taken together, the left hand progression sounds like this. These overlapping chords produce a kind of kaleidoscopic effect, in part because the chords don't contain obvious relationships to each other, but also because the arpeggiation spreads the full chords out, diluting the structure of each motive to our ears. To hear what I mean, listen to each hand on its own. Then, listen to how the overlapping of these figures makes it much harder to hear each arpeggiation as its own chord. All of this wraps up with one last arpeggiation in the right hand, a G major 7, followed by a cadential bar of alternating Ds and Es, rising to measure 18. Now, listen to the whole section all together. Whew, it's quite a mouthful. Luckily, the last phrase is fairly straightforward, acting as a recapitulation of the first theme from measure 1. It is first presented in the right hand, transposed a tritone above the original pitch level. Then, Bartok interrupts the cadence of the melody with fragments of a modification of the ostinato to bring us back to the original pitch level. The melody returns with the modified ostinato and the hands flipping rolls, the ostinato now in the right hand and the melody in the left. The final cadence presents fragments of the ostinato alternating first between each hand one beat at a time, then in the right hand only changing registers once per measure. The tritone relationship is resolved to a perfect fifth, a D flat and A flat, but a little spice remains with the major second in the right hand. The final sonority, two staccato D flats under a sustained A flat, B flat major second, sounds as a D flat add 6. Now, here's the whole section one more time. And here's a video of the whole score. Alright, even for a little piece, that's quite a lot to take in. It just goes to show how many words it takes to describe what music communicates so succinctly. If you learned anything from these videos, consider subscribing, because there's more on the way. Next time, we look at a bagatelle of a different sort by Beethoven. Thanks for watching.